for work. Tim Tebow's performance Sunday and Denver's upset win over Pittsburgh sent people flocking to the internet. The game made John 3:16 the most searched item on Google. Tebow passed, now look at these numbers. Tebow passed for 316 yards. He averaged 31.6 yards per pass. And guess what CBS's rating for the game peaked at? You guessed it, 31.6. All those 316s had the fans searching the internet, and that's where they found the famous Bible verse where Jesus said, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life." Tim Tebow sometimes painted John 3:16 on his eye black when he was in college at the University of Florida, and that's a practice, by the way, the NCAA has since banned.
When I was at the University of Florida, for every home game, we would get in the bus at our hotel and we would drive right by the stadium and we would stop at what's called the Gator Walk. In every game I played there was probably 20 to 40,000 fans at this Gator Walk ready to greet us as we get off the bus. And I would be on the first bus and the first person to get off. And I would walk off and I would turn around and my teammates would come out and I would hug every single one of them on the first bus, the second bus, and the third bus. They would all walk in and I would be the last one to walk in. Because I gotta tell you, when I would get off that bus and I would hug my teammates and I would turn around and I would see all these people, I gotta tell you, there were a lot of voices that started to hit me. One of the first voices that instantly hit me was pride and arrogance. Because I would look out and I would see thousands of jerseys with my number on it. I would look out and I would see Bible verses that they were wearing because I wore them. And so for a second you thought, dang, I'm something. They're here for me. This is pretty cool. I must be somebody. That voice hits your head. But then another voice creeps in and it says, Timmy, but if they really knew you, they wouldn't like you. You see, yeah, you might be a role model to them and they might be wearing Bible verses and they might say, thank you so much for being a role model for my kids, but then shame would creep in. That voice that would say, yeah, but if they saw you on your worst day, they wouldn't like you. But if they really knew the thoughts that you had and the actions that you've had, you wouldn't be a role model anymore. They wouldn't like you. And then there was the next voice that would say, Timmy, by the way, most people in the country are going to watch you the next 3 hours. And just so you know, you're not enough. You're not enough. You're not enough. You're not good enough. You can't handle it. You can't handle the pressure. And so I would put back on these headphones and listen to the voice of truth. And it goes like this. The voice of truth tells me a different story. The voice of truth says, do not be afraid. The voice of truth says, this is for my glory. Out of all the voices calling out to me, I will choose to listen and believe the voice of truth. And guys, I believe that's true in my life and it's true in your life. That there's a lot of things that are calling out to you. There's shame that's calling out to you. There's not enough. There's insecurities. But I'm not as good as this person. But then we remember the voice of truth. God's promises on my life, God's promises on your life, that I'm a child of God, a son of the King of the world, who will forever reign. I was created in love, by love, and for love. He has an amazing plan for my life. Those voices of truth would say, I'm here for a reason. I might not be enough, but I'm more than conquerors through him that loved me. So when I know I'm going to get scrutinized, I know I'll either win or lose, I know I'll be a hero or the GOAT, I also know it doesn't matter, because the God of this universe, he formed me in my mom's womb, and he said, through me you're more than enough, and I love you no matter what, and I have a perfect plan for your life. there's a picture that I stumbled across. And it's one of Time's 100 most influential images of all time. And it's the picture of this young girl. She's on her way from her village to a feeding center not far away. And she's so malnourished and she's moving so slow that this vulture is waiting to attack. So the young man that took this picture, I think there was probably something in his heart that he wanted to do good. He wasn't sure. So he captured this picture and he just waited, and then the vulture got closer. So he kind of shooed the vulture off, and then he walked away, and the vulture would come right back. And he was told, because of some of the sicknesses in the areas, don't touch anybody, don't do anything. And so he didn't. He didn't. He did nothing. Because apparently the cost was too much. So he left. He went back. The New York Times published this photo in 1993. In 94, he won the Pulitzer Prize for this photo. 4 months after this, he chose to end his life. You see, every single one of us, we have a chance to be successful in life. And you know what? I hope you are. I really do. I hope you're successful. There's nothing wrong with being successful. But success is just about you. But significance is about other people. You see, that man that took that picture, he had success. That's one of the greatest honors a photographer could ever have. But obviously it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So what's going to be enough for you? You see, success is great. You can do a lot of things with it, but it's not going to be fulfilling. But when you have a life of significance that's focused on other people, that's focused on the Great Commission, that is focused on bringing the love of Jesus to hurting people around the world, you have a life of significance, and that will be fulfilling. That will be life-changing. It will be life-giving. And I believe one day you will hear, when you get to heaven, one day, good job. Good job. That a boy. Well done, my good and faithful servant. You see, one day, I hope that happens to me. It's my biggest goal in life,